Nightfall slow on my tired skin. Another road, another sin. I walk through fire with steady feet. Carry secrets no man should keep. Stay still, a quiet shadow against the hill. I've loved and lost, I've fought and bled. Some truths stay close, some stay unsaid. Shadows don't forget, they follow where I go. Shadows don't forgive, and they never let you rest. The whiskey burns, the silence grows. I keep my wounds where no one knows. Inside my chest, trying to tame what never rests. Some men break and fall apart, some turn cold with a frozen heart. But I learned strength in the darkest place, staring pain right in the face. Shadows don't forget, they follow where I go. They walk behind my steps like ghosts who never slow. I try to lay them down, but they rise with every breath. 'Cause shadows don't forget, and they never let you rest. I'm a sinner, let it be. At least my truth still walks with me. I'll face the night with an iron will, even if the shadows haunt me still. And when I die, don't call the storm. Just leave me walking on my own. For even lost souls earn their place in the dark. Shadows don't forget, they know the man I am. They guard the scars, they trace the path, they walk beside the dam. I rise again, I stand again, no matter what is left. 'Cause shadows don't forget. I walked through nights that never ended, carrying the rules of who I used to be. People saw a man still breathing, but inside something burned quietly. I gave pieces of myself to shadows, let the world carve truth into my skin. I learned that silence can be armor, and losing everything is where men begin. I stood at the edge of every heartbreak, felt the cold of every lie I knew, but the darkness sharpened my footsteps and taught me what a broken man can do. Now I rise from the ashes of the man I was. Slow as thunder, heavy as rust, my heart beats deeper than a war drum's call. I lost everything, but I didn't fall, yeah. From the ashes of the man I was, I became the fire that fears no dust. If pain tried to bury me under its laws, I stood back up, stronger than the man I was. Hey. There were days I couldn't speak a word, days I drowned in whiskey smoke, days when even breathing felt like another promise already broke. But I kept walking through the wreckage, let the storms tear me apart. And somewhere between the grief and grit, I found steel growing through my heart. People ask why I walk so quiet, why my eyes don't shine the same, but they never saw the nights I bled all the way behind my name. I rise from the ashes of the man I was, with a soul rebuilt from dust. My scars are roads I've traveled through hell, proof I survived what I must. Yeah, from the ashes of the man I was, I grew a spine carved out of loss. They tried to break me, tried to erase, but I rise again, untouched by fate's call. Now when the cold wind calls my history, I let it whisper what it wants to tell, but I don't bend to ghosts or memories. I've already outlived my private hell. So if you see me standing in the doorway, quiet, calm, harder than stone, understand this: every man who walks through fire returns with a crown all his own. From the ashes of the man I was, I learned to breathe in pain and dust. I don't run, I don't beg, I don't hide. I am what remains when the storms divide. Yeah, from the ashes of who I used to be, I forged a darker, stronger me. They thought I'd crumble, but I'll still rise. From the ashes, with fire in my eyes. Kept my anger buried deep under nights that never slept. I held my breath through every storm, pain and scars the world never kept. People saw a calm-faced man, someone walking with steady grace. But beneath the silence of my steps burned a fire no one could face. I learned to swallow every insult, turn every bruise into a blade, till the day the darkness found me and bowed before the man it made. 'Cause beneath my quiet rage, there's a storm you'll never tame, a slow burn fire, cold as steel, that remembers every name. I don't shout, I don't break, I just rise and rearrange. Here beneath my quiet rage, I am everything you can't change. Fear to roam, carry regrets like heavy luggage, but kept moving stone by stone. Some men scream to prove their power, some men kneel to feel alive. But me, I sharpened every heartache and let the silence keep me alive. I've lost battles I never speak of, won wars nobody saw. My mercy's gone, but my patience cut sharper than any law. 'Cause beneath my quiet rage, there's a debt no man forgives, a hurricane with measured steps, a truth that always lives. You can't hate me, you can't fear me, but you'll never rearrange what I became. Beneath my quiet rage, nights I nearly shattered, nights I almost let go of the fight. But even at my lowest hour, my darkness taught me how to bite. Now I walk slower, stronger, colder, with eyes that don't forget the pain. And every ghost that ever cursed me knows I'm the storm after the rain. People talk of fear and failure, but I've outlived both by miles. I wear the silence like a crown and carry vengeance in my smiles. Beneath my quiet rage burns a fire meant to rain. Not loud, not wild, but built from bone and strain. I don't bend, I don't beg, I don't ever fade or change. I am the echo of every battle beneath my quiet rage. And if the devil comes tomorrow, let him knock, I'll be away. 'Cause hell already tried to break me and learned I don't break. breeze cold across my chest, a quiet storm that never rests. I hear my footsteps in the dirt, slow and heavy, carved from hurt. The world moves fast, but I stay still, a lonely figure on a dying hill. The sky above don't call my name, but the ground remembers just the same. Beneath the weight of my shadow, I sink slow, walking a path only darkness can know. Every sin I've carried, every scar I've shown, beneath the weight of my shadow. I walk alone. I've lost the man I tried to be, left pieces of him across the sea. I paid the price for every vow, some broken and some breaking now. The fire burned, the truth ran wild, turned a hopeful heart to a reckless child. Now the silence cuts more than any blade, a debt unpaid for choices made. Beneath the weight of my shadow, I fall deep into the secrets I promised to keep. No redemption whispered, no mercy shown, beneath the weight of my shadow. I stand alone. The whiskey warms but don't forgive, it only lets the memories live. A quiet friend in darker times, a witness to my worst crimes. I've begged the moon for one more day, but time don't stop, it walks away. Still I follow tight and torn, a ghost in boots and flesh reborn. Beneath the weight of my shadow, I remain a creature molded from loss and pain. And when the dawn arrives, cold as stone, my shadow stays with me, always known. And when they lay me in the ground, where no more footsteps echo sound, don't carve a stone, don't speak a name, my shadow's all that needs to remain. Beneath the weight of my shadow, I'll be free, no more change from what made me me. Until that day, through dark unknown, I walk with my shadow. my shadow alone. With a quiet fire, heavy boots on sinking wire. The world moves fast, but I move slow, carrying truths no one will ever know. The nights get long, the whiskey warm. I hold my ground through every storm. Silence speaks in the way I breathe. Some wounds settle, some never leave. My shadow follows like an old worn friend. It knows the parts I'll never mend. I don't break, I don't bow. I paid my price, I'm stronger now. My shadow walks beside my name, through burning streets and stolen flame. I've lost, I've bled, I've stood alone, but I'll rise again, cut from stone. Some men run, but I stand still, face the dark with iron will. Let the smoke drift, let the night fall. I've seen the worst, I survived it all. My shadow walks beside my name, through burning streets and stolen flame. I've lost, I've bled, I've stood alone, but I rise again, carved in stone. comes down like an old steel chain. I walk alone through wind and rain. My shadow moves with a wounded grace, a tired man with a hardened face. I've carried storms beneath my skin, lost good friends I won't see again. But every mile, every hurt I've known has turned my heart from flesh to stone. There's dust in my veins and fire in my breath. I've stood on the edge and stared down death. The darkness calls, but I don't break. There's dust in my veins, and I won't fade. I've held my ground when the world got loud, stood eye to eye with the one's too proud. I've buried truth, I've buried lies, but still I rise where a weaker man dies. The road is long, but I don't run. I face the night, I face the gun. My past still walks beside my name, but I won't bow to guilt or shame. There's dust in my veins and fire in my breath. I've stood on the edge and stared down death. The darkness calls, but I don't break. There's dust in my veins, and I won't fade. Let the wind howl, let the sky fall down. I build my strength from broken ground. The scars I wear are proof I stay when every light began to fade. No fear can take what I became. No ghost can burn away my flame. I've died before and came back whole, a darker man with a stronger soul. There's dust in my veins, fire in my breath, and fire in my veins, fire in my breath. I've stood on the edge, and stared down death, stared down death. The darkness calls, but I don't break. There's dust in my I move slow through broken light, a heavy soul carved out by night. These hands are warm, these bones are tired, but deep inside still burns a fire. I walked through storms that had no end, lost myself, then rose again. The dirt I've tasted made me strong. I stand in places most call wrong. There's gravel in my blood and thunder in my chest. I've taken every fall and still outlive the rest. The world can take its swing, I won't go under yet. There's gravel in my blood, I ain't done fighting death. I've buried names I used to trust, turned steel from all that turned to dust. No mercy left in what I've seen. My past still walks inside of me, but every scar I carry now reminds me why I won't back down. The dark can whisper, let it speak. I learned to breathe where others break. There's gravel in my blood and thunder in my chest. I've taken every fall and still outlived the rest. The world can take its swing, I won't go under yet. There's gravel in my blood, I ain't done fighting death. Let the night come, let it crawl. I'll stare it down and watch it fall. You can't kill what's already known. The weight of loss, it kept it strong. No, 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 no. There's gravel in my blood and thunder in my chest. I've taken every fall and still outlive the rest. The world can take its swing, I won't go under yet. There's gravel in my blood, I ain't done fighting death. The night is cold on this broken road. I carry weight only old men know. My boots drag dust through memories burn. From every bridge I watch turn to dirt. I've lived through hands that meant me harm, through lovers' lives in a world gone dark. But even when the shadows bite, I hold my ground, I don't lose the fight. There's iron in my heart and thunder in my bones. I walk through hell alone, but I never lost my throne. Let the night come down, let the world pull me apart. I won't fall, I won't fade. There's iron in my heart. I've seen men break beneath their pride, watch strong ones run and never rise. I took my hits with a steady stare. I learned the price of strength ain't fair. Every scar I wear is forged in truth. Each mistake built the man I grew. The road I chose was rough and long, but every wound made my soul strong. There's iron in my heart and thunder in my bones. I walk through hell alone, but I never lost my throne. Let the night come down, let the world pull me apart. I won't fall, I won't fade. There's iron in my heart. Let the wind shout names I lost, let the rain remind the cost. I faced the void, I faced the flame, but still I rise, still I remain. When silence tries to drown my voice, I grit my teeth as life's my choice. And even when the darkness starts, it breaks its teeth on iron hearts. There's iron in my heart and thunder in my bones. I walk through hell alone, but I never lost my throne. Let the night come down, let the world pull me apart. I won't fall, I won't fade. There's iron in my heart. Learn the hardest truths alone, with no one watching me break. I stitched my wounds with midnight smoke and swallowed every damn mistake. There were nights I bled in quiet, hands shaking on the steering wheel, wondering if the man I was becoming was someone I could ever feel. I walked roads that had no mercy, left pieces of myself along the way. I kept the storm bombs inside my chest. 'Cause men like me don't run, we stay. People talk about redemption like it's something you can chase, but all I found were empty bottles and the cold echo of my own face. These are the lessons learned in silence, carved in bone, carried in the dark. No witness, no forgiveness, just a memory building from the spark. Yeah. These are the lessons learned in silence. I love with a heart that was trembling, gave more than I ever got back. I held the world on tight shoulder until my spine began to crack. I've lost friends to time and anger, lost lovers to the man I used to be. But through the ashes of all those versions, quite a strength rose up in me. There's a calm that comes from suffering, a fire you can't teach or fake. It turns sorrow into weaponry and heartbreak into something you can take. I don't cry about the distance, I don't fear the coming night. Everything I've survived has shaped me into a man made more of steel than light. These are the lessons learned in silence, written in blood I couldn't hide, forged in stones refined by violence. Now I stand with nothing left to divide. These are the lessons learned in silence. If tomorrow brings another trial, I won't shake beneath its weight. I walk through hell enough to know that demons bow to those who wait. I'm not the man who fears the shadows, not the boy who begged for signs. I'm the quiet force that kept on moving when the world read between the lines. So when I breathe beneath the moonlight, I don't regret what carved my name. The pain, the fire, the empty nights, they sharpened me into who I became. These are the lessons learned in silence, buried deep where no one sees. Straight as a birthplace is this violence of learning alone on scarred knees. Yeah. These are the lessons There's a grave beneath my ribs, marked by silence, sealed by time. A place where every version of me went to rest after crossing the line. I've lived 1,000 different ways, burned my bridges just to feel the blade. Every choice I made, every truth I lied, became another man I buried inside. His voice still whispers when the night gets cold, a tired echo of the stories I told. And sometimes I feel and breathe again, a ghost of pride, a ghost of sin. I carry the man I bury inside, the shadow I can't outrun no matter how I try. He walks with me in silence, step for step, stride for stride. Yeah, I carry the man I buried inside. Killed the dreamer, I've killed the saint, left their bones on roads of pain. I've killed the lover, broke his spine, just to feel the world alive. I've killed the coward, killed the king, killed the boy who wanted wings. Each one died beneath my pride, another man I buried inside. Some nights their faces crowd my mind, eyes like lanterns left behind. 1,000 souls with my own name, watching me rise, watching me change. I carry the man I buried inside. His truth is heavy, but I never lie. He knows my sins, he knows my stride. I walk with the man I buried inside. If I could dig them up again, I'd tell them what I never said. I did what I could with what I had. Some choices broke me, some made me a man. But graves don't listen and time don't bend, and the past ain't something you can mend. Still I march through the darker tide, with every man I buried inside. I carry the man I buried inside, through burning nights and fading skies. And when I die, let the world decide who was the man and who was left inside. Faces in my shadow, They carry pieces of my name, versions of me that didn't die. Men built from rust, smoke and flame. I see them when the room goes quiet, staring back with tired eyes like mine. Not the ones I buried in regret, no, the ones who walk the broken line. They sit with me in the silence, like brothers forged in the same fire. One survived the loss of love, another crawled out of the darkest mire. And there's the one who lost everything, but kept standing through the rain. And the one who learned to smile again, through the whiskey and the pain. These are the men who stayed, who held the ground when the world went gray. The ones who bled but never swayed. Yeah, these are the men who stayed. They don't speak, but I hear them when the night gets mean and long. They're talking scars across my hands, and every wound that made me strong. The boy I was is gone for good. He broke in places I couldn't mend, but the man who rose from what was left is someone I've learned to defend. There's a version of me that learned patience, another that learned how to fight, one who lost faith but kept walking, one who came crawling back to the light. And when I look into the mirror, I don't see myself alone. I see the army of my yesterdays, the men who turned my heart to stone. These are the men who stayed, who held the line when the fires blazed, the ones who learned to bend but not break. Yeah, these are the men who stayed. So here's to the ones still breathing, the ones who learned the cost of pride, the ones who loved and lost and lived, but walked anyway through the rising tide. If the world wants to know who I am, let them see the ghost beside my face. I am every virgin that refused to fall, every man who rose in my place. These are the men who stayed, who carried me through every storm I made. I owe my soul, I owe my name to the men who stayed. sky. A tired witness to the times I've tried. I walk this road with a heavy stride, carrying sins I never could hide. The wind blows cold through my faded coat. Each breath I take cuts at my throat. I've lost my peace, I've lost my flame. But the night knows my name. Where the night knows my name, and it whispers it slow, calling me back to the darkness I know. I've run from the truth, but it stayed just the same in the place where the night knows my name. I watch good men turn dust and bone. I watch strong hearts turn into stone, and in their fall I saw my own quiet fear I've never shown. Some memories burn, some memories drown, some lift you up, some drag you down. But every road I walk feels stained with the weight of the man I became. Where the night knows my name, carved deep in its walls, through every shadow that rises and falls. I face my demons, but they still remain in the place where the night knows my name. Whiskey numbs, but never heals. The rain may fall, but never steals. The hurt I've held, the guilt I claim, the echo of the night calling my name. And if one day I fade away, just let me pass like shades of gray. No flowers, prayers, oh holy flame, just leave me where without fear or shame.